Your identity has been stolen. The big challenge is that you do not know. Let me give you a breakup, or more like, make that a heads up. And you can call today's show a Yam Story. In the yam world, Nigeria is the leader in West Africa. Nigeria has high quality, and I mean high quality and high quantity yam tubers. We have these things in Taraba, in Oyo, in Kaduna, in Niger, Enugu, Ogun, Anambra, Osun, and Nasarawa states. Meanwhile, and you hear Kofi, Kofi will probably bear me witness. Ghana has been exporting Nigeria's yam tubers to the UK, to Canada, Germany, and America. Nigerian yams are packaged and sold as Ghana yam. Why is that the case? Well, good morning. Welcome to our show. It's the FinTech show. That's what we like to call it. We cleverly blend financial technology and exports in the name. I'm Femi Obong-Daniels. No arguments there, unless, of course, all the questions I get, in the last few decades. And we are talking non-oil export, FinTech, and FinTech peripherals. Nia Dioshun is my friend and brother from another mother. He's with me. He is our export coach. Good morning, Ni.
Thank you, Femi. Your prologue is something else.
No, you can blame Razak for that. Razak Olaigwe is producing, by the way. Good morning, brother.
Thank you very much, Femi.
Well done. So we seem to have your attention now, yeah? So let's get into this conversation. Now, I was saying earlier on about my stolen identity and the yam puzzle. Nigeria yam sold in European markets as Ghana yam because, okay, so I don't know. I want to find out. But more importantly, we want to find out how we can, snatch the initiative right back, right? But Nigerian yam is smooth. It is attractive. It is well packaged. It has a sweet flavor. And although it's packaged as Ghana yam, that's a different thing. The question is, how do we correct this? How do we better represent our yam in those countries? How can we retrieve our stolen identity? Ni, you are the expert. So tell me what is going on and what have you and Razak been cooking throughout the weekend?
So you sound very angry, actually.
I'm pretty bemused there.
I have to defend myself.
Oh my God!
And unfortunately,
Kofi will probably explain why his Ghanaian brother is there. But we'll come back to that.
He has to explain that.
So good morning, everybody. Good morning, our listeners. It's been the controversy forever.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about it, and because Nigeria has larger landmass, if you ask me.
Yeah.
We from the region of Taraba, Benue, a lot of farming is going on, all right? And the Ghanaians just come and pick this yam and sell, all right, in the international market.
Mm-hmm.
So you start to ask yourself, what exactly is the issue, really?
Mm-hmm.
Between you and I here, it's packaging, actually.
It's packaging.
Absolutely, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've done some research. Razak gave me the work to do, right? So I had to do some research about this. Now, you can imagine. So they clean our yams, right? Mm-hmm. So we buy yam and get it with all the dust and all the dirt, right, and take to the house. So Ghanaians don't do that, all right? So they take the yams, they clean the yams, you understand, and put these yams in cartons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they put these yams. I mean, I was showing him a photograph. I said, Ogbeni, look at your yam here. Do you get what I'm saying? Even in China, you got it. So that's what it is. It's the packaging. For as long as we understand, you can imagine you going into a shop and you're looking at yam and you're seeing best before.
Mm-hmm.
and you're saying batch number for yam issue. You don't get
yam that we just have put in tubers in 3s and 12s and
you get it. So you got to get to a point where you understand that the yam you buy is weighed somehow. So you see, a yam is 6 pounds, right? You get it. A yam is 2 kg. You understand? We don't buy like that. You see an aboki.
Kofi would argue that because the Ghanaians have bought the yam from us and we've already exported.
Yes.
In cities, maybe whatever.
Yeah.
And maybe they do have a point. The question is, are we being outsmarted? I mean, are we? What I mean is, how do we change the narrative? How do we take charge? Because you just told us what the Ghanaians are doing, which is brilliant business sense, and they're business people, and they have every right to come in here and buy from us at low rates, package. And some would say we see this even in the oil industry. You produce it, somebody buys it, refines it, sells it back to you for several times the price they bought from you. But what can I do?
Let me give you some statistics from Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO.
Okay.
I was shocked. Nigeria produces 71%. 71%.
Your mic.
Go ahead. Don't worry, I got you.
Togo 1%. Cameroon 1%
of yam.
Yes. Ghana 11%. So Ghana do not have enough.
Okay.
So how do they augment that? They go to our neighboring states.
Yeah.
And buy from our smallholder farmers.
Okay.
To add to what they have. Now, guess what is the percentage of the yam Ghana exports?
Tell me.
Nigeria produces 94%. Ghana exports 94%
of the yam.
Yes.
Coming from Africa.
Yes, 94%.
And we are the ones
Nigeria. Nigeria is just 1%.
Of the Ghana going up.
Yes.
Of the yam going. Ghana,
yes.
Sorry. Of the yam going. Of the Ghana going to yam.
Yes.
I'm confused.
No, but I mean, it's not fair on me. It's not fair on me. Okay, wait till you sell. I own again. Don't be old now. Wait till you sell. Don't be old now. But I just want to chip this in.
Yeah.
My sister is Nigerian.
Okay. Yeah.
She is in Canada. She gets everything she sells in a store.
You'll say it like you're not Nigerian. Of course you are Nigerian.
She gets everything that she sells in a store.
In a store, right?
In Canada from Nigeria.
Okay.
But the only thing that I've heard her say she buys from Ghana is yam.
Wow.
I've always wondered why. So I've always wondered why. I've always wondered why.
Yeah. I mean, like you asked this earlier on. The problem is this: your product is only interesting when it has a good look.
You get it.
So when you're talking about packaging, you're not just talking about only yam. So Indians buy our cashew and go to India and repackage it and sell to the US market, right?
As in cashew.
Indian cashew. I mean, that's what's going on here. So they give farmers money.
I don't cashew.
Oh yeah. The same thing with sesame seed.
Oh my God.
But unfortunately, right? Should we go back to the government and say that, look, government, you're not doing enough? Okay, so I mean, I attended a show, what do you call it? So Nigerian Export Promotion Council had a summit last week. It was a 2-day summit. I attended that summit. And it's so interesting that the guy who happens to be the ED of what do you call it, one Yakusak guy, Ezra Yakusak or something, I can say that he's quite proactive, all right? Because they keep talking about packaging and all that. As long as we don't get packaging right, we'll still probably be where we are. Unfortunately.
So we're still essentially just selling raw material.
Yes.
Exactly.
Raw material, no finished product,
Absolutely.
meaning we are making peanuts.
Absolutely.
Meaning that many of our people do not get to play in this space.
They don't.
How can we produce 71% of the yam from Africa?
Yes.
70-something percent.
71%.
71%.
Yes.
And we are responsible for only 1% of the yam export going for
now,
Africa.
Femi.
Yes.
All those, the most of the yams go to UK. 49% go to the UK.
And of course we know the UK is the second home of Nigerians.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm sure Nigeria, of course, I shouldn't even say I'm sure, Nigeria outrank any other African countries in terms of UK population, by the way. So we already have a ready market from we know all the centers where people will want to eat yam. They will probably want to eat anomo and isuru. Well, those of you who don't know what anomo is, it's potato. What is isuru in English? I've forgotten again. Do you know isuru? Let's leave it because we will spend all day.
I'm also not that local.
I grew up in Ibadan, so you probably if you didn't grow up in Ibadan, you know what isuru is. So the point is, and well, we cannot begrudge Ghana for doing what they are doing. We should applaud them rather than begrudge them, because this is smart business. They account for 11% of yam production on the continent, and so come to Nigeria with their 71. That's 6 points. That's 60 points ahead of them.
Absolutely.
And they account for 94% of all yam exports coming out of Africa, meaning they've got to get it from somewhere. Togo's 1% will not do them much good. Cameroon's 1% will not do them much good. Where is the yam? It is in Nigeria, 71%. So they buy it at normal, cheap rate, and they go package. You can't blame them. But herein lies the issue. Nigerians could be making a lot more from our yams.
That's it.
Which learning just a few tricks.
Absolutely.
And being willing to go play in that market.
Yeah, that's it.
Going to the places where the yams are.
Yeah.
At the start, I did mention the homes of yam in Nigeria. Just if you didn't catch that, Taraba, Oyo, Kaduna, Niger, Enugu, Ogun, Anambra, Osun, Nasarawa states. I'm sure there are a few other states too that are high, but these are the main centers. The question I'm thinking of again is, how can we dominate the lucrative yam market and turn them into revenue, especially in this post-subsidy removal era?
Yeah, well, thank you. So this is why we have this show here, right? Is to be able to educate people about the opportunities that stare them in the faces. It's all about training, right? People learning, okay, about how to make sure these things happen. We have the capacity to do it, and we want to continue to do it. So we'll be talking to people, teaching them about how to get those markets, And I must say clearly here, a lot of people, think that getting buyers for our products are difficult. It's extremely very, very easy.
Wow.
I was having a conversation with a lady. So she reached out to me, because I belong to some other groups like and she was like, that she was talking to some guys and they were bombarding her, that they want to buy our stuff, you understand? I told her, I said, madam, you keep thinking that selling Nigerian produce is a problem. Selling Nigerian produce is not a problem. It is getting yourself export ready. All right. So there are basic things you just need to understand. Once those things, are put in place, you're right. We'll teach you how to do the packaging, right? You understand? We went to one of the federal government agencies last week, you understand, where we find that, where we're in that, look, it's important that when you do any of the things you want to do, you got to get them tested. All right. So one of the huge agencies, when they make inquiries, want to be able to for nutritional facts of all of those things. Yeah. We will teach these things as time goes on. All right. So that people can maximize the benefits of the things.
That's when you package. If you just want to sell your tubers of yam, you don't need nutritional facts, just tubers of yam. You sell. You can lazy and take your 20 kobo and no complaints.
But let me now also tell you. Sorry to cut you. Yes. So there's in that conversation during the NAPC summit last week. All right. One of the concerns is the fact that Nigeria is still importing some herbicides that are poisonous. So when those things go out of the country, they don't get into those countries. They just get confiscated, and people get to lose money. So these are
okay.
Yeah,
that's in the production of the
these raw things that we use.
Okay, the pesticides pesticides we use for the farm.
Yes, exactly.
So when the crops are then processed and sent abroad, they're able to test for it.
Exactly. So they test them. Yeah. So they don't find that, this thing is present in this. You understand? It cannot get in here.
But there's a way to deal with it. The Ghanaians probably know how to make sure there's no pesticide in the yams they buy from Nigeria.
Yeah. So again, you understand? So one of the values of yam is the fact that you can process it into yam flour.
Yeah.
Okay. So the value chain, in fact, that's really where the money is. All right. So while you're worried about the fact that you have the raw yam, you understand, you can also process yam, you understand, and still make money. So there's no loss for you actually.
Yeah. But you're not just talking about amala and
I want you to talk about the packaging.
Okay.
Because that's where the money is. If you don't package your whatever you take to the market, you don't get value. So, talk about how packaging help your products.
If I'm talking about packaging, I'll be surprised if we all don't know what packaging does. You know, while we were in the can we're coming, there was a lady so they bounce off a lot of ideas off me. People are on my neck because I help them do stuff. So she did a flyer for her product, which she wants to put online, you understand? And she said, she brought it in one of my groups and said, please, that we should look at it for her. And while he was driving, I was looking at some of those things and I said, okay, I just said, madam, there's a mistake here. All right. Now, because you're talking about people in the international community, there is a way you must present things to them. All right. So, because every of the things that you're bringing to them has to do with level of pay. When supposed to put on the made was where she was supposed to put a dollar sign in that stuff. I said, madam, no, this is a dollar sign. No. So if you don't have the eyes for details, all right, because of our own kind of system where we don't take things seriously, you understand?
Instead of selling rice and beans, it's rice dollar beans.
Yeah, you get rice dollar beans. You get what I'm saying? So the man says and say, oh, how do I want to do business with you that is calling and calling it dollar? Where do we go from there? And you say nobody's patronizing you.
Yeah.
No. It's about understanding the people.
One of the first things that puts me off.
Yeah.
A product. If I pick up the packaging and I see garbled grammar, I just drop it.
It's just natural for some of us, for our generation, right? Yeah. Because of that's how we grew up. All right.
Yeah.
So every little detail matters.
And when we were young, we didn't care. We just say, buy Owoni cocoa bread for good health, vitality, energy, and beautiful, and we will still eat it. But this generation cares.
They do.
So packaging matters.
No, packaging is everything, really. You know, it's the impression because. In the course of the conversation, we're talking about being able to get buyers. I'll be teaching a lot about digital marketing. All right.
Okay.
The days are gone. You understand? So now, life is a lot easier. The internet is there. Access to people. You can advertise your product to somebody in Germany while you're sitting down here in Lagos, and you're able to ship to Germany without even seeing yourselves.
Yeah.
He's able to make payments to you. There are escrow accounts. There are a whole lot of ways to make things happen. You get it now. But people need to learn. You understand how to make sure that they are ready for the market.
Unfortunately, we're learning. So the individual is listening. Are there collective groups? I mean, could people form, export communities and do it together? Take the learning and we do it together. I am Yam, you are Gary, you are Pamkano, and is that possible?
But of course you know that. So as we see here. A friend of mine told me in China that we should send samples. We're all aware.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
You got it. So I've told everybody that, look, your samples must not be more than 1 kg, except you want to give me free food to eat.
So you need samples to send to those countries.
Yeah, so they can
1 kilogram.
So she sent me.
If we send you 5, you eat 4.
You get what I'm saying? So she sends me stuff and said, look, yam, and I'm like, okay. She sent me yam as part of things she wants me to China as samples. You understand? So it's just for us to get ready. Okay. And again, there is beauty in exporting together in a cluster, like you said here, because most importantly, it gives you the opportunity to be able to learn through a learning curve. Yeah. All right. At the same time, it reduces your financial risk.
Okay. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. Razak, I'll probably give you one final thought.
The way Ghanaians package their yam, it comes the way we package beverage. So just go to the store and carry a carton.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or maybe 6 tubers of yam or something. Yeah. That's
I would and all of that. But kudos to our Ghanaian brother. Baba Spirit is with you.
Do I have breakfast on you? Breakfast on you? I will show you the secret.
On me. Yam breakfast. Well, guys, as we leave you, non-oil export gives you access to global markets. The global markets, they give you forex. And with these entities, well, the world is yours. You can learn and you can grow. Thank you for being a part of this show. For those who are wondering, I need more information, just send to this WhatsApp. It's a WhatsApp number. It's a group, not a lot of calls, but 091 21 2885 091.
Nigeria Info. We'll be right back.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.